Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade, and I cannot wait for Damian Lillard to take the stage during NBA All-Star Weekend, especially after he was robbed of a game-tying goaltending call on Friday night against the Utah Jazz. Man's gonna have some bars for the refs, and it's going to be fire. Maybe cost him a few $1,000s in fines. Let's start with some hot takes. DUNKS is going to be busy this All-Star weekend as both his Nike Air Force and KD12 collab drop on February 15th. Both sneakers are draped in the colors of the Chicago flag, and while I'm a fan of the KD12, the Air Force One is just, I'd like to say more, but that seems to be all there really is to it. Even the Just John Air Jordan 2 collab went the extra mile from the materials to the presentation. It's like DUNKS saw what Supreme was doing with their Air Force One Low collab and thought he could do better. Or worse. I don't really know sometimes. Speaking of friends from Chicago, Kanye West will finally, after what seems like years of speculation, drop his long-awaited Adidas Yeezy basketball shoe. Word is it will be released in both a lifestyle and performance version, although we don't know what the difference is between the two as of this recording. Remember when athletes would sell us on their basketball shoes as something you can wear both on and off the court? Like it was a canned line everybody had prepared. Oh, you can wear it with your jeans too. Meanwhile, Kanye over here telling us, hell no, you're gonna pay me twice for the same shoe and you're going to like it. I'm really over most Kanye tantrums, but I would love to see his reaction if somebody actually wore the lifestyle version on the court and get all incredulous about it in a way only Kanye can. Congratulations to Katy Perry for becoming an ambassador for the British Asian Trust, a charity founded by Prince Charles and Southeast Asian businessmen, because nothing exemplifies the relationship between the UK and Southeast Asia than a white girl from California who thought it was a good idea to cosplay as a geisha once. But Katie will actually be doing good work because her role is to focus on the Trust Children's Protection Fund, which will work to fight trafficking and child labor. Meanwhile, I'd like to announce my new role as ambassador for the Filipino 605 Freeway Trust because one of my riders is Filipino and he said it was cool. I'll be inspecting the Sacai sneakers of every hype beast and Gucci bags of every auntie in Cerritos to make sure they're legit. During their weigh-ins for UFC 248, Israel Adesanya and Yoel Romero got into a dance-off instead of a face-off, and Romero actually broke out with the splits? Damn, that's more exciting than most UFC fights. I mean, at least that whole sequence lasted longer than a Conor McGregor squash match, and check out Dana White not having the slightest clue what to do. I don't think he's ever felt more like his last name than at that very moment right there. Tesla had a wild week at the stock market with prices going sharply up and down like the shape of that Cybertruck Elon Musk showed off a few weeks ago. It was really dramatic if you're into that sort of stuff, dealing with everything from investors cashing out to fears of the coronavirus shutting down manufacturing plants. Only thing missing was Elon burning cash with his flamethrower that's not a flamethrower. It's like the old saying goes, always bet on the guy crazy enough to reveal a Cybertruck that's shaped like a Porygon. That's not really an old saying. We just made that up, and please don't quote me on that. And now for a segment I like to call Story Time with Jacques. NBA All-Star is in many ways the sneakers Super Bowl. It wasn't really something I gave much thought growing up, but as I became more involved in the business, it became clear to me that this was when everybody brought their A game. From Michael Jordan debuting the new Air Jordan for the year during the game itself, to exclusive colorways making one-time appearances. If you were a sneaker brand, this was your chance to shine the brightest. Maybe the brightest of them all to this day was the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Galaxy. I remember where I was on February 25th, 2012, the day the Foamposite was supposed to drop. I was going to attend a viewing party of All-Star Saturday Night at the Montalban Theater in Los Angeles, hosted by Nike. The Galaxy Foams had already sold out anywhere you could think of, and there was a near riot at one of the Florida malls that stocked them. We didn't have GOAT or StockX at the time, so you started seeing them pop up on eBay and places like Flight Flight Club for thousands of dollars. I even heard somebody was willing to trade their used car for a pair. Anyway, the hype for the Galaxy foam was very real and very palpable. And then the rumors that a handful of pairs were going to be made available at the Montalban started. Yeah, it was tense that night. We all had tickets when we got in, so while everybody was hanging out and socializing, we were also keeping an eye out for any sign that the shoes were going to be made available. And after the All-Star stuff was done, they actually announced that they were going to raffle off a full set of the All-Star sneakers from that year, including the LeBron 9 Big Bang, the Kobe 7 Galaxy, which I had just copped at Foot Locker that morning, and the KD 4. Now, I'm not gonna say I was scared for myself or whoever got the foams, considering everything that had been going on earlier in the day, but let's just say that while it was a fun night, it was tense when they finally announced who got them. And there may have been a police escort or 5 for the kid that got them just to make sure. Man, if that had happened today, I would have had a lift ready to go the moment I heard my name called. I'll just come back for my car tomorrow. Now it's time for the heat check, and because it's All-Star Weekend, it's going to be a supersized version that's going to make your tax refund check squirm just a little bit. We're just gonna go with the ones that already have confirmed release dates, so as much as I want to make more Yeezy related jokes here, I can't, at least not yet. First up is the Nike LeBron 7 All-Star. That's for February 12th. King James wore these in the Cowboys Stadium 10 years ago for the All-Star game when I was but a young child coming up in the world. Good thing there's nobody else here to call me out when I make jokes about my age. There's the Nike LeBron 17 Monstars. That's on February 13th. Of course, we can't not talk about what LeBron might have on his feet during this year's All-Star game, and it's a team up with the Monstars. It's possible the Toon Squad LeBron 17 low could also drop on the 15th, but that hasn't been confirmed yet, so stay tuned for that. Air Jordan 1 NC to Shy, that's February 13th as well. It's another Air Jordan 1 that highlights MJ's journey from Tar Heels to the Bulls, but this one will drop in women's sizes. Still waiting for that Bulls to Wizards colorway though. Y'all hear me? Nike Kyrie 6 trophies on February 14th. Kyrie pays homage to the 6 Larry O'Brien trophies that Michael Jordan helped the Bulls win, but also to the memory of MJ's father who sacrificed everything for his son. Can't really go wrong with red and gold. D Rose 1 Simeon. These drop on February 14th. Sadly, Derrick Rose won't be able to participate in any All-Star activities due to the injury, but hopefully somebody else will take up the mantle and rock this yellow and blue Adidas D Rose 1 that represents his high school days. Next up, we have the Joe Fresh Goods New Balance Omnis. Those drop on February 14th. Of course, February 14th is also Valentine's Day, and New Balance has you covered if you're not feeling that day with a pack featuring a new 992 colorway and the Omnis that featured the saying, "No emotions are emotions," and the blank stare emoji, leaning into that whole Kawhi Leonard stoic demeanor. I get it. Next up, we have the Air Jordan 3 Unite. That's on February 15th. More famously known as the Air Jordan 3 Red Cement. It's a familiar look, but dipped in red to give it some pop. I already have a pair that you can check out an unboxing of, but the Chicago exclusive version will say Nike Shy in the back. So something to think about if you're actually going to be in the city. The Off-White Air Jordan 5 that's dropping on February 15th. I mean, it's got holes in it. What more do you want? We have the Nike Adapt BB 2.0 that's dropping on February 16th. The next generation of the Adapt for basketball is here, and I can't wait to try them to see how much things actually changed from the 1.0. And then we have my pick of the week, which is the Jordan New Beginning Pack. This drops on February 12th. Whether you get these as a 2-pack or separately, there's no denying that the first part of 2020 has been dominated by news of this retro pack, featuring a new yet old Air Jordan 1 colorway and the Nike Airship, the real band sneaker that started the legend of Michael Jordan, and honestly, really Nike. All right, it's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like the International Space Station using a laptop flipped over as a screen for their virtual reality headset before they recently upgraded to an HTC Vive. I get panic attacks whenever somebody leaves a glass of water or orange juice within 10 feet of my MacBook. These people had them upside down on top of their heads in space. Anyways, this week's Hard Pass goes to skate shops, namely skate shops who think they can keep it real and dictate the direction of the culture. So this week we saw the release of the Nike Dunk Low Plum and the Strangelove Skateboards SB Dunk collaboration. Both have been heavily hyped for the past few weeks, and with so much attention being paid to Nike Dunks of all kinds lately, it's no surprise that these came and went on the sneakers app really fast. I didn't even have time to be sad had, that's how fast I took the L's on these. But the Strangelove collab can be found in skate shops since it's an SB Dunk. But some stores have gone the extra mile of trying to combat people from actually trying to buy them. You've probably seen the videos and memes of skate shops forcing customers to either perform a trick to prove their skater bona fides or wear a particular pair of pants so they can get in line. For the Strangelove Dunks, one store went the extra mile and decided they were going to sell them without the box as a way to combat resellers. Yes, this is actually a thing that happens in the sneaker world, although more specifically, the subset that deals in SB Dunks. See, even more so than streetwear, there is a fight to remain authentic in an increasingly corporate world. Skateboarding has always viewed itself as against that movement, always going against the grain. Some might actually view that as elitist, but others see it as one of the last authentic groups still going. It's why you see old skaters that never bought into Nike and other big brands attempt to integrate themselves into skate culture, rebelling at every turn. And part of that has been the popularity of the SB Dunks, which we can all agree at this point is way bigger than skateboarding. Dunks are experiencing a newfound surge of popularity thanks to a combination of very good new releases and celebrities jumping on the bandwagon. It's not unlike the last time SB Dunks were mainstream, but with social media and reseller platforms making it easier than ever to see what's popular and what's available at the tap of the button, you too can own a pair of Dunks without ever having to step foot into a skate shop. And that does not sit well with the skaters who want their thing to remain underground. To them, a pair of Dunks is meant to be worn and beat up and torn to shreds. In the words of that shop that won't give up the box, if you really want your box, I really don't want to hear about it. You should really probably just cop a glass case or something. The joints is beautiful. On the one hand, I can empathize with those who are really about the skate life, who cringe at the sight of a clean pair of Dunks or see them being sold for thousands of dollars on a reseller site. I too would love to live in a utopian society where every Dunk is dirty and coming off at the seams from spending all day at the skate park trying to be the next, I don't know, who's a popular skater that's not named Tony Hawk or Eric Costin or Nyjah Houston. It would be great, I guess, if only skaters wore SB Dunks and they were never featured in menswear institutions like GQ or Esquire with editors who have never done a kickflip in their life, but we don't. We live in a society, we live in a culture where people are chasing what they deem to be their true authentic self and not what others dictate is authentic. And they achieve that authenticity by wearing what they like. And yes, we also live in a culture where some will exploit whatever is trending at the moment to try and make a few bucks. But we can't and shouldn't punish those who enjoy the thrill of opening a fresh pair of sneakers out of the box. I mean, my entire brand kind of revolves around the concept of unboxing. It would be kind of weird if all my videos started with yo, 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 Jacques Slade here, back with another unboxing, and there was no box and my producer just threw shoes at me. I would hate for some kid who is genuinely interested in SBs and loves the creativity of both the shoes and the brand to be denied the full experience because some adult thinks their precious underground thing is being taken away from them. And especially if it comes in that sweet custom packaging Strangelove put together. Besides, the real way a skate shop could combat sneaker or resale culture is to refuse to stock the shoes. Yeah, now that's punk. Don't bow down to the man and tell them to take those Strangeloves somewhere else, namely a store that will let you buy them, no questions asked. Okay, that's gonna do it for the show. Thank you for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade, and I will see you again next week with another episode, but not before I show you Ja Morant forgetting he's in the NBA. I'll see you next week. Peace.
Thanks largely to his efforts right now. Their largest lead at 11, and there's a steal by Simmons and a foul by Morant. And now the question is, was it a clear pass?
I kind of wonder what he was thinking about, but he wasn't thinking about Ben.